I'll be giving 2 minutes to draw this diagram. This is one of the important and basic diagrams so that you will understand the flow and support your modules. Aryan, am I audible? I'm not able to hear you. The screen is visible, right? You may chat. Yes, Raviraj. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So please draw this diagram. I'll be giving 2 minutes. Okay, guys, let me know whether your online lectures are going on of elective. Yes, Raviraj.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you attended Agentic AI and the second subject is what? Prompt engineering lecture online.
मैम प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग का लेक्चर नहीं आया, लिंक ही नहीं आया, बस एजेंटी का आया था, वो किया है.
Okay, ठीक है, thank you. So that I want to cross verify. Second thing is BDA के लिए अभी कोई lecture ही नहीं हुआ क्या allot?
नहीं
Big
मैम,
data
नहीं हुआ. टाइम
analytics.
टेबल पे भी नहीं है.
हाँ, yes.
यस मैम.
I understood that. So, might be there will be some changes in the coming week. So I will notify the updated timetable. Okay, fine.
यस मैम.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, so coming to the NLP phases. Okay, already we have started with the basics. Might be you will be knowing some of the phrases or the terminologies which we had discussed. Now, this is one of the technical and the flowchart type diagram where you will understand the input is going as an output and the output of one phase is going as an input to the next phase. So dependency is more, try to understand this. Okay. You have missed one of the things in one of the phases. Your output may go wrong. Correct. So the target representation is very, very important. I have told some of the applications we have discussed, and I told to mention the case studies or the examples of each and every application, so that I'll be checking in the offline lecture. So better if you didn't do, okay, concern with your classmates and ask what I told as a homework. So complete that and come to the lecture on Monday. Now over here, some modules were missed with whenever we were discussing, that is lexicon, grammar, semantic rules and contextual information. So these are very, very important, though those are supportive blocks, but they play a major role. Okay, those are like catalyst. Okay, if the catalyst is not there in an experiment, what is the consequence or the impact? You know that. The same thing has been happening with those modules. So these are implicit, but very, very important. Now coming to the next phase, the same thing has been mentioned, but over here, what actually happening in the processing part? This we can call as the block diagram, flow diagram, okay, architecture diagram, but this everything is in process, like action. Okay, what action has been taken in each of the phases that we will be discussing. Some of the terms may be new, that's why I'm just going through the terminologies over here. So first thing is phonology. Okay, phonetics you all are aware with. The same thing, how you are organizing the sound systematically. For example, expected and accepted. Okay, so there is some difference between the phonics, and based on that, the spelling has been changed. So you have to remember as the word or the sound has been changed. Okay, जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि if we interchange the arrangement of the alphabets, ultimately a new word is been formed and the meaning is also been changed. So that should not happen. So that comes under your phonology. Second one is morphology, where you will be understanding the formation of the words, how the words are being formed. Okay. So if I am saying term and space, it is okay. You will understand it is just a term. If I am saying terminal, okay. So now the formation of the word is been changed. If I am saying terminator, again the word is been changed. If I am saying terminology, the word is been changed. So try to understand the base word is term, and based on that, how different words are being formed. That comes under morphology. Morpheme, it is a primitive unit of meaning in a language. This we have seen. Okay, any single unit, including your punctuation, your character. Okay, a single character comes under the primitive unit. Syntax, we know that how the formation and internal structure of the sentence would be. And over here, I should understand how you are going to arrange the sentence. Okay, so if you will be writing one of the active sentences into the passive, the sentence is correct, the meaning is also correct. But what I change the formation of the internal structure of the sentence. So this is the meaning. Semantics deals with the meaning of the sentences, and the pragmatics again understanding sentences in different situations. So I mentioned in the first lecture only that pragmatic analysis is one of the complex and crucial part of NLP, because the interpretation is very, very important when we say pragmatic analysis. Now comes the discourse, deals with how immediately the preceding sentence can affect the interpretation of next sentence. Now, how you are going to correlate the two sentences? Okay, अगर मैंने दो sentence लिखे हैं, clauses भी लिखे हैं, and if you are giving a comma, based on that comma, you will be going to separate the sentence into two clauses. And because of that, the meaning has been changed. We have seen some of the examples in the class. Now, the next is word knowledge. It includes the general knowledge about the word. So this consists of each and everything, okay, about the literature which we are learning in the English language. This is one of the important phases, lexical analysis. So the word is lexons. So lexicon describes the understandable vocabulary that makes up the language. So that word should exist in the English vocabulary. Okay. So we know that if there is a word, there must be the pronunciation, there must be the meaning of that word. Either it could be one meaning or more than one meaning. Lexical analysis deciphers and segments language into units. Those are called as lexemes. So guys, please write down these simple terminologies under the lexical analysis. I know while hearing there are some limitation in the online lecture, but if you keep busy yourself in writing and taking notes, that would be plus point in study. Again, you need don't not needed, it is not needed to revise the things once you have gone through whatever you have taken as the notes. Okay, you can refer it and you will understand. So NLP algorithms are responsible for the lexic analysis. Obviously, in each and every phase, we have to apply some of the algorithm. Jaise in data mining, you have seen pre-processing is one of the important tasks, right? Pre-processing agar acha hua, then whatever the input going to the algorithm to process will be giving the accurate result. That's why we pre-process the raw data. It could be in terms of missing values, right? It could be related to the ambiguity. It could be related to one of the samples is incomplete. So in all such cases, you have to apply the pre-processing techniques. Similarly, over here, once I am ready with the raw data, I have to do some lexical analysis. So there is paragraph first in a particular document, there is a paragraph. Paragraph is one of the units. Now, in a paragraph, sentences. In a sentence, you may say phrases or clauses are correct. And in a phrase, there are words. In a word, there are characters. So this is how it flows. Now, the algorithms are very important because we have seen some of the statements where you are tagging the part of speech, right? So that is POS tagging. Okay, once you split the lexemes into the morphemes, the meaningful language units, you can't further divide. Okay, there is a limit. Now, which are those two types of morphemes? One is called as free morphemes. So function independently as words. So the dependency is not there where we refer the free morphemes. Like cow is a noun, house is a noun, horse is a noun, class is a noun. So these are some of the examples of the free morphemes. Now, what is the meaning of bound morphemes? Is the word is larger and it comes with suffix or prefix. Then you can say yes, it is a bound morpheme. And once you are saying the basic unit of word is attached with suffix or prefix, the meaning is been changed. जैसे possible लिखा, possible के आगे अगर मैंने am prefix लगाया तो it is going to be impossible and ultimately the meaning is been changed. Similarly, some of the examples have been given. Unimaginable. Okay, imagine is a free morpheme or a root word. And in that root word, we have added the prefix as well as the suffix. Now, un is the prefix, so unimaginable. So it is a bound morpheme denoting, yes?
Ma'am, screen is not visible.
How it is possible? I have shared the screen. Wait. अब दिख रहा है?
नहीं मैम.
Let me share once. Now?
Yes ma'am, visible.
Let me know. I am doing it in the slideshow. तो दिख रहा है क्या बताओ मुझे? अभी दिख रहा है?
नहीं मैम, अभी नहीं दिख रहा.
So there is a problem when I do it full screen. Now it is okay?
नहीं, अभी भी नहीं दिख रहा.
So yes, I have to check with that. Entire screen करके देखते हैं. रुको. Entire screen से होना चाहिए वैसे. अब दिख रहा है?
Yes ma'am, हो दिख रहा है.
Yeah, good. So I think you missed this PPT. So please go through this. Okay. I have explained already. In 30 minutes, you can just read. Sorry, 30 seconds. Right? Should I proceed? So these two words are important, free morphemes and bound morphemes. Okay. Now, what actually expected in the lexical analysis? So when you perform the lexical analysis on any paragraph, the analysis is going to divide the first sentence into the lexeme phrases. Ultimately, you will be dividing the sentence into phrases into the words, and word you need to check whether they are present in the vocabulary of that particular language. If they are present, you will be tagging them with the part of speech, and you will be categorizing them as the free morphemes and the bound morphemes. So the examples are being given: words, vocabulary, understand. Okay, if I'm saying understandable or understanding, now those will become the bound morphemes. So analysis is nothing but the observation. How you will be dividing it, observing it. In the lecture also, we have seen that one of the statements, if I will give you, you have to tag the words with the help of part of speech. जैसे हमने देखा, S is divided into VP and NP. Okay, again NP is going to divide into the determiner and noun. Again, there is a distribution of VP into the verb and the noun. And VP is again divided into whether it is with the determiner, right, or the auxiliary word that you need to check. You will be writing auxiliary and the verb, and at the end, the object is divided into the determiner and the noun. So subject and object, you need to find out. You have to divide it into the noun phrase and verb phrase. That is very, very important. And once you are done with the lexical analysis, syntactic analysis, we have to start. You need to check the syntax, how the language, words and phrases arrange to form a sentence. Okay. जैसे हम मराठी में बोलते हैं कि मी कॉलेजला जात आहे. Okay. So the same thing, if you want to write, yes, I am going to college. Sometimes whatever you are writing in English will map word to word to the Marathi language. But sometimes you cannot take the literal meaning and arrange the words as you write in the English. Okay, that will change the meaning of the sentence. So this is how we are confirming what are the word arrangement is been done in a sentence is in the correct format. That is called as syntactic analysis. That is the first part. Next, you need to check the proper grammar. First sentence I'll be writing in present tense. Next, obviously there will be future tense, then we can understand. After that, I'll be writing in the past tense, then again present tense. So if there is a mismatch in the sentences, you are not able to understand whether the situation has been happened or it is going to happen. Right? That's why whenever you write a story or essay in the childhood, the instruction has been given either you have to follow the present tense or the past tense. So this is how the instructions have been given while forming the sentence. The example is been given, Dev wrote the paper, passes a syntactic analysis because grammatically it is correct. जैसे कल आपने एक प्लेसमेंट एक्टिविटी की, अगर मैंने ऐसे बोला कि प्लेसमेंट एक्टिविटी होने वाली है या है, अगर ऐसे मैं लिख रही हूँ, so that would be present tense. Now the next question will be asked when. Okay, अगर वो हो गया तो obviously it is the one of the thing which has been happened previously. Now the task is been done. Okay, ultimately you will understand already the task has been done. Now there is no question of asking it would be, क्योंकि वो हो गया है. Now conversely a syntactic analysis categorizes a sentence like Agra goes to the Pune. Syntactically incorrect, right? If Poonam is a person, Poonam goes to Agra, ऐसे लिख सकते हैं. Agra Poonam के पास कैसे आएगी, right? So it is a place. Ultimately, it is a wrong sentence. Coming to the next phase, semantic analysis. Okay, पहला हो गया syntactic, sorry, पहला हो गया lexical, second would be the syntactic, third is semantic analysis. So where you try to interpret the meaning of words, phrases, sentences, and ultimately the paragraph. So once you are concentrating on the basic unit, okay, ultimately combining the meanings of all basic units, you will come across the meaning of a sentence. After that, meaning of such sentence, if you are combining, it will come under the meaning of a paragraph. If meaning of paragraph you will be combining, there will be flow in the document, and you start to understand what is the flow, okay, what this document talks about. Each and everything will be clear if you try to link the words to phrases, phrases to sentences, sentences to paragraph, paragraphs to article. Correct? Now, semantic analysis attempts to understand the literal meaning of individual language selections, not the syntactic correctness. तो जो पहले phase का ये था, task था, that is not been done in the semantic analysis. It is assumed that syntactically where the output is coming as an input to the semantic analysis is the correct one, and based on that, semantic analysis starts its process. That's why it has been written that semantic analysis is not going to check language data before, after a selection to clarify its meaning. So already it has been done. Grammar has been checked. The formation of the sentence has been checked. Now, what is the role of semantic analysis? Now I need to interpret the meaning. That's it. Correct? So whether the statement is passing one of the analysis phases or not, it depends on the output of the previous phases, not the individual module. अगर third module को second module से गलत output आ रहा है, ultimately the third module will give the wrong output. Correct. So we need to assure that every phase has to give the correct output so that the target representation would be the correct one. Now the example is been given, Manhattan calls out to Dave, passes a syntactic analysis because it is grammatically correct sentence. However, it is the semantic analysis. Why? Because the Manhattan is a place and it can't literally call out to the people. Now, but if we are saying that Manhattan calls out to Dave, including the people of the Manhattan, if Dave is one of the celebrities, that time we can say that yes, this could be semantically correct. The sentence's meaning doesn't make any sense if we are considering Manhattan as a standalone place. Correct? So this is how you need to analyze the meaning of the statement in semantic analysis. As I told, how to correlate two different statements is very, very important. Now, discourse describes communication between two or more than two individuals. Okay. It could be one-to-one communication. It is one-to-many communication. It is a group communication. Okay. So everything comes under the discourse integration. But over here, unless and until you are integrating more than one modules, more individuals नहीं आएंगे. So that could be, जैसे अलेक्सा को ले लेंगे एग्जाम्पल में, अलेक्सा को चार लोग साथ अगर इंस्ट्रक्शन दे दे तो व्हाट he or she is going to follow. Obviously there would be the abrupt answers. अगर एक उसने प्रोसेसिंग चालू किया, if she tries to give one of the outputs, the next person will give the next command, then she has to follow the next command. So there is no linkage between the individuals. Randomly one of the person is giving the different commands and she has to follow. So it is not called as the proper communication. ऐसे होता है ना घर में भी. If you try, if I like a particular genre song, तो मैं बोलूंगी अलेक्सा को ये लगाओ. तो अगर if someone different is not liking the same genre, तो he will say no, now play these songs. So it happens, right? So whatever is sent instruction received by Alexa, she'll be processing that instruction and giving you the answers. So this is how the discourse ambiguity happens, but we have to integrate the discourse, meaning how you are going to correlate the statements. So discourse integration analyzes prior words and sentences. So prior or after, both are important to understand the meaning of ambiguous language. Now the example is given, Manhattan speaks to all its people, and the following sentence reads, it calls out to Dave. So discourse integration checks the first sentence for the context to understand what is it. It is Manhattan, right? Manhattan speaks to all its people. ऐसे first statement है. Second statement में it calls out to Dave ऐसे है. So it refers to the Manhattan. That you need to understand. जैसे if there is a boy, we write the replacement of a boy as pronoun in the statement called as he. Okay. If there is a girl, you have to write it as she. If there are multiple individuals, you have to write it they. Because each time we are not going to use the nouns, okay, to make it complex and the repetitive. We have to use pronouns. The most important analysis and the last phase comes as the pragmatic analysis. Pragmatism describes, now the word is pragmatic and we have derived a new word called as pragmatism. It is an interpretation of language intended meaning. Very, very important, right? If you are correctly interpreting the intended meaning, there won't be the misunderstanding, confusion, or ambiguity. Correct? So if it won't happen, there would be the confusion, misunderstanding, and the ambiguity. So these all are drawbacks of your pragmatic analysis. And we have seen ambiguity, not each time it is a humor. Agar humor hua, it is okay, people will understand and let it go. But if it could be the explosive part, or it could be the ubiquitous part, अगर हर बार ambiguous meaning आप interpret कर रहे हो या आपका machine कर रहा है ना, that is the useless interpretation, or we say that NLP fails. Correct? Now, the pragmatic analysis attempts to derive the intended, not literal meaning of the language. It is very important to discover the intended effect by applying a set of rules that categorize operative dialogues. Now, if I'm writing the statement, open the door, it is interpreted as a request instead of an order. Okay. So और इसे रिक्वेस्ट लगने से अगर हमें बनाना है, you may add one of the word called as please. Okay, either it could be prior to the statement or after the statement. Open the door, please, or please open the door. Ultimately, yes, it is a request. And if I yell with a loud voice that open the door, okay, so obviously it is an order, because in home also you might have faced such statements. Okay, some people are doing the tasks, and if you are free and you are not going to open the door, then some at the another point, okay, your mother or father will call out your name to open the door, right? So one second. Hello sir. Yes sir. Sir, lecture घेते lecture घेते. Yes sir. Okay, till this it is clear, guys. Hello.